So, this is the 13 locomotives that I have in the collection that have been bought from Hattons Model Railways, which has sadly announced its closure recently, and I've decided to do a sort of tribute video to them because they have been a massive part of the collection, and they are local to me, so decided to do a running session with all of the locomotives I have purchased from Hattons over the years, and this is in the order that they are normally in the cupboard. They're not in the order that I've bought them. I think the most recent would be Lion of the lot, but I can't remember. Oh no, this one's the most recent, the 24. This is the most recent one. But some of these date back to 2019. So the Lord Nelson and Duke of Gloucester, for example. There's 13 of them, so we'll go through them individually, enjoy some running session with those, and yeah, let's get to it. So we're starting off with the two southern engines first. So the first of those is Blackmoor Vale, the West Country class, which is still my favourite locomotive in my entire model railway collection of 49 locomotives. It is absolutely stunning, and I've had this nearly 4 years. In February, this will have its fourth birthday in my collection anyway. And I think it was the 20th of February 2020 I purchased this, so it's been a big part of the collection. It doesn't run often, it doesn't come out much, but when it does, it looks fantastic, and I absolutely adore it. So we're going to run it first. I've put the green coaches on because I don't want to keep swapping coaches every 5 minutes. I normally run it with the Pullmans, which it looks fantastic with, but I've decided to put the green coaches on because the Lord Nelson is next, and I'm going to just use those anyway. So being a bit lazy, but let's enjoy this one anyway for a bit. Just make sure the track's not being dodgy. Reasonable speed, and we'll get some shots of it going around. There it comes, the West Country class. By the way, the squeaking noise is the wheels on the coaches. So yeah, it looks fantastic. Absolutely beautiful thing. I adore this locomotive, and I cannot wait for it to actually be running again in preservation, because it's not ran for a very long time. We should be getting done at some point. I am definitely going to get a BR Streamline West Country as well one day, but I've got to get other things first, of course. So why are you so squeaky, you annoying coaches? They're insanely squeaky. Yeah, I love this. I absolutely adore this locomotive. I'm so glad we can finally actually run this. This is an excuse for me to run some of the engines you probably haven't seen for a very long time on the layout, so it gives us a bit of an excuse to do that, doesn't it? So it's a nice video, this. Because I don't think many of you have seen the Lord Nelson run or the Duke of Gloucester run for a very, very long time, because people actually forget that I have Duke of Gloucester in the entire collection. Like, it's mad. So yeah, we've got a good lineup though from Hattons. There's a bit of a mixture of everything. Southern, we've got some L&MR, we've got LMS, got GWR, we've got British Rail Standard. Wasn't really filming that properly, and we've got some diesels as well. So Kelly Ashford, you are going to be loving this video. Starting actually with a loco that she doesn't like the design of much as well. So there is everything for everyone here. So we're like that on this channel. We go for everyone's tastes. It's a heritage railway. There's a collection of 49 locomotives. All of them are very, very different. Speaking of locomotives, there will be a J39 being added to the collection very, very soon. The locos that were in the video that I did recently, uploaded, saying they were departing, they're all going very, very shortly. They're possibly going today, the day of filming. So yeah, they're going, and we've got a J39 coming, and a B2 Pecker, another one, which there will be a review of, and another Ginty, but there won't be a review of that because it's identical to the one that I already have, which is deliberate because we want the two blue versions with different numbers, so yeah. But there will be a review of the B2 because it is a different livery, so that's why. This is a gorgeous locomotive though. Can't say it isn't, even if you don't like West Country classes, which not a lot of people, some people don't, but not everyone can like the same things at the end of the day. It wouldn't be human otherwise, would we? Right, there we go. And we will stop Blackmoor Vale. What a beautiful thing. I love this locomotive so much. So yeah, that is the West Country class, which I bought from Hattons. Very, very long time ago, actually. Yeah, it was a while back. But yeah, gorgeous little thing. And we'll get on to the next locomotive. So this is the Bachmann Lord Nelson class that I purchased in 2019 from Hattons for just £50 back in the days when you could buy locos for that price and them still be decent. This is an older model. It's probably going to be one of the oldest in the collection now that some of the vintage have been moved on. However, I'm never getting rid of it. I love it. I love the way it looks. It runs really well. It actually looks pretty decent apart from... I don't like the big coupling on the front. That's the only thing. But other than that, it's not the huge one, so it's okay. I will get other Lord Nelsons. I'll get an M15, I'll get an S15, etc. And they're going to be super detailed ones. But I'm going to keep this. It's going to be the malachite example in the collection. There will be an olive one joining at some point. Whether or not I get Lord Nelson, the actual preserved one, I don't know. Down the line, I might. But this, for now, is the sole malachite example of a Southern Railways 460 that I will have in the collection for quite a while, if not the only one to actually join the collection ever. So, yeah. But it is a lovely thing. So we'll run this. It hasn't ran for a very, very long time, actually. So it's nice to actually finally get some locos out that haven't ran for ages. So we will enjoy this one for a bit. And then we'll get on to the first of the L&MR locomotives. And you get to enjoy the squeaky coaches again. So this is one of the older split chassis locomotives, which don't run 100% normally, but this one runs really well. This is nice slow speed as well. It's going nice and slow. It's lovely and quiet as well, so it doesn't like blur my ears out like some of them do. I mean, it's not as super detailed as you'd expect, like for a that you would think for a loco, because it's an older loco. I will get super detailed ones. In fact, I'll probably get super detailed malachite one. I'll probably get the Lord Nelson if I can. But I don't think I'll ever part with this because I think it's gorgeous. I've had it a very, very long time. It's going on for 5 years in the summer. I think we bought it in the summer of 2019. I received it as a Christmas present in the December of that year. So we're getting on for having it 5 years. So it's been a big part of the railway. It's not ran much. I don't think it's going to be one of those locos I don't run often, even when I keep it. Like the Lima Class 60, for example. But it's going to be one of the very few older locomotives I have, and it's a very nice one at that, because some of the older locos are not particularly nice, or don't, well, I wouldn't say not nice, but I mean they don't stack up to modern standards so much. But this one, I think, just look at it from a distance, it looks fantastic. I know the coupling rod's a bit chunky, but it's loco drive, it is a split chassis, but it does mean it's insanely heavy. It's very powerful, it runs quite well, and yeah, it looks good with some coaches that are squeaking away. And I do like the oversized tenders on these, and they look quite cool, they look quite snazzy. Yeah, just look at that, it looks nice, looks really good. It's good going along, so it's a lovely loco, and it's nice to finally have it running for once, because it doesn't often come out of the cupboard, so it is very nice indeed to have it on the layout for a bit. So and that livery is lovely as well. But yeah, I was tallying the amount of malachite locomotives I will have, and there's probably not that many. Because when I eventually build the Southern collection up, which I intend to do, because I love some Southern locos, quite a lot actually, there's not going to be so many that are this livery. So you've got the West Country and this, and then from then there's only the odd one or two or a couple like that you would expect there to be loads, but I can't see it being loads. Because I like Southern Olive as well, and I think it suits more locomotives like an M7, a Schools, a Lord Nelson, a T9, all in southern olive. That's just olive, and then there'll be a H2 in olive potentially down the line. That's a couple already. So yeah, and then from there's the BR greens, the BR blacks on some locos, and then you've got the blues on the merchant navies. You've got the BR greens on the West Countries. So yeah, I probably wouldn't get a schools class in Malachite. I'd probably get one in olive and one in BR black, because they look quite smart in BR black. And then a H1 also in BR black would look quite cool. So it's just one of that. What do you do about Malachite? There's not many locos that they actually do in it, and the ones that they do, I can always get in another livery, and they look quite smart in that. So it's just one of those. So it's not going to be a common livery, to say the least, but neither is BR blue, which I think I worked out there will be 4, I think, in the collection eventually, potentially. Anyway, there's 1 in this video. Right, we'll stop it there, and we'll get on to the next loco. So this is the stunning N2 in Great Northern Green, number 1744, which is the preserved example. I bought this from Hattons, I think, in 2022, not 3, 2. So I've had it over a year now, which is scary. I think I did. It might have been. Must have been late 2022. I can't remember, to be honest. It was. That shows that it was probably a while ago. Anyway, lovely thing. I do like an N2. This is obviously a older locomotive now. It is still the most up to date tooling, I think. But they are a little bit outdated now. They do need to update it. It'd be nice to see them redo the N2 some point in the future. I wouldn't get a GNR green one because I have one now, but I would probably get an L&MR line black one if they were to update the tooling. But maybe down the line I get an L&MR black one anyway. Who knows? Because I do like an N2. But yeah, this is a keeper. I do love it. It's very nice indeed. I know I always wanted it's a GNR green one, which is why it took me so long to get an N2. And they're so difficult to get hold of as well sometimes for a reasonable price. This was quite expensive actually. I remember thinking it's a bit expensive for an N2. Used to be able to get these for like bargain basement amount of money, but oh well, never mind. Well, enjoy this. And it's with the little sort of Genesis style coaches. These are not Hattons ones, unfortunately, but they're the Hornby ones. But yeah, but the only thing that annoys me about N2s is they're quite tall, so they look a bit silly with these coaches. But anyway, I know locos are designed to be tall, but there we go. So watch the N2 go around for a little bit. It is a lovely thing though. An 062 tank. I think it's the only 062 I have at the minute. It would be nice to get an Oxford N7 in that photographic grey, but they're quite difficult to get hold of now. But maybe one day, But these are cool. I do like an N2 indeed. They're not the most powerful locos in the world. I think they were raced at 2p back in the day. Under BR, I think they were rated at 2p for the strength, which isn't very high. And in model form, they're not that heavy, so they're not actually that powerful in model form either. But they're not like horrifically underpowered. They're still relatively hefty things in model form. So down a little bit because it is going a little bit fast there. Relatively smooth, but it's not the most smooth loco in the world. But it could do with like it would benefit from a huge layout and a big long train of coaches, to be fair. So, but yeah, it is a lovely thing. I know they're not to everybody's taste, as most locos are not to everyone's, but it's still a lovely thing. So, like to see this going around for a little bit. I don't think it's ran in a video for quite a while, so it's oh, there's a signal there. I think it's just nice to finally have it out on the layout. Yeah, they're lovely, those coaches, but the N2 in general is just, I think it's a very, very lovely thing, so And that will do the N2. Now, there are 2 freight steam locomotives in this video, but I can't be bothered making freight trains. So they're going to run with passenger coaches because they look good with coaches as well. So the next one is the Hornby Thompson O1. So we'll get to that now. That is the next L&MR loco, and then we're going to LMS. So bit of everything for everyone. There we go. That is the Hornby Thompson O1, which I think is one of the very few freight locos I actually think pulls off being beautiful as well. Other than 28XX, which I think is the most beautiful. There's not many that do that. I know, like, they are still nice. There's nothing ugly about locos like 8Fs and even the 7F, but necessarily beautiful is difficult to describe some as. But this one, I actually think it is. I think it's gorgeous. So I've stuck it up with some Gresley coaches, L&MR teaks. I'm just going to enjoy this one going around for a little bit. These are actually quite relatively inexpensive locomotives, but they run really well. They're not the most powerful locos because they're not the heaviest, but they have a competent mechanism, and this is insanely quiet, and it looks the part, and they're quite well detailed. They're not like ridiculously detailed, but they're priced competitively. I think I bought this for like £80, which, even though it was pre-owned, it was still in very, very good price. So I think even when they were new, these were only about 100, so they're not bad at all. And it's a 280, so it's still relative, like, it is hefty, it's just not like ridiculous, but it's perfectly adequate for what you need this for. And if you run it with freight, it still looks fantastic and still does a very good job. So it's a great locomotive. I do recommend these, highly recommend these. Right, we're going to stop this one. There we go. Yeah, it's a lovely thing. Right, we're now on to LMS, so that's the fun bit. Let's go. So, now for the first of the LMS locomotives, and this is City of Bristol, which is Princess Coronation class, and this was my first BR Blue locomotive, and I believe still my only one at the minute. And this loco and the 4 coaches that are behind it all came from Hattons because they're all from the same set. Now, the set was the loco and the coaches. There was no track or controller, which I not bothered about anyway. But yes, this entire set came, I think, with about 134, I think, rings a bell, which I think is a very good price. Oh, it might be 144 or something like that. It was around that figure, which I think is a very, very good price. And this is a very, very hefty locomotive. It's not the super mega detail version. I think it was like toned down a little bit for the train set, but it still looks fantastic. And yeah, this is a fantastic locomotive, and I'm glad to own it. There will be more Duchesses, Princess Coronations, this, that, and the other, whatever they are. This one specifically is Princess Coronation, which I googled to check the running number. But there are like Coronations and Duchesses are all very, very similar. I would like to add Duchess of Sutherland to the collection. And yeah, whatever comes along with that. But yes, this is the only BL Blue loco in the entire collection at the minute, so it's quite cool in that regard. Yes, let's enjoy this one for a bit, and the coaches it also came with. This is quite a large locomotive. I think this is the largest steam loco of the video, so it is quite a biggie. It's Pacific 462. Actually, no, we do have the Standard Class 8, which is also quite a large locomotive. That is also very substantial. It's probably similar in size, actually. That's coming later on, so... but I think this is just slightly larger. But I'm not 100% sure. They're probably very, very, very similar in size. So eventually, the plan will be to have this, the King class, GWR King, and the Southern Merchant Navy and the Southern Rebuilt Merchant Navy, all in BR lined blue, and they will be the only BR lined blue locomotives in my entire model railway collection, because they're the only ones that I actually like in BR lined blue, because it's a bit of an odd colour in my opinion. I think it only suits certain logos. I think it suits this one perfectly. This one is absolutely beautiful. I think it suits it perfect. I think in fact I think it's probably my favourite of the BR lined blue. But I love the Merchant Navy in it, the non-rebuilt, and I think the King suits it really well as well, so it'll be nice to have those. I don't think I'll have an L&MR one in BR Blue. I don't think I will. It would be cool to have at least one of each of the big four. Maybe I will then, but we'll have to see. They haven't done very many BR Line Blue L&MR locomotives, so it might be quite difficult. But we'll see, Maybe I'll get an A3. Probably wouldn't though. It's more likely an A4 I would get in BR Line Blue if I was to do it. But there's a lot of other A4s I want as well, so we need to find out which is probably the best to do in which order. So, but yeah, this looks superb. I love it. 46237. Unfortunately, it's not a preserved example, I don't think. But not every loco is preserved, is it? So, unfortunately, it is the way it is. So I'm not going to spend too long on each loco because we've still got quite a few to go through. So the next one is, I think, the smallest locomotive that we have in this video. In fact, it is by far a long way the smallest. I also think the most expensive, which doesn't really make any sense, but anyway, let's get to it. The next locomotive is the Rapido Trains Lion locomotive. I think this is my first Rapido locomotive, and I think the smallest steam locomotive in my entire model railway collection. It is the most expensive loco in this video, I think, but it's also was bought brand new, and it's a brand new tool loco. It's made of diecast, so it's fair enough. There is one other brand new locomotive, so the rest of them are all pre-owned from Hattons' pre-owned department. So, and as you can see, they're all pretty much, well, look brand new, so it's not too bad. Yeah, so this is a gorgeous thing. We're only going to give it a dead quick run. We're not going to keep it on the track for too long because we need to move on to the last LMS locomotive. So that's why. But let's get to it. Oh, that's the wrong way. Would help if we went the right way, Lion. There we go. Let's go. It is absolutely tiny. Those coaches dwarf it. But I mean, it doesn't have any issues hauling coaches, like large ones, because it is a very, very surprisingly powerful locomotive. And it weighs quite a lot for its size, so there's not really much of an issue with it in that regard. But should be fine. But yeah, it is very, very small. It looks fantastic, and it was sort of a buy because I would always wanted at least one Era 1 locomotive, and the only one I actually liked was Lion, and I live alongside the Liverpool to Manchester Railway where it was based, so it only made sense to get it, so I have. And this is the Rapido one, so that I could actually attach normal coaches to it, and the Rapido one, in my opinion, is the slightly nicer example. But they are very, very similar, so it's can't really go wrong with either. But I wanted to attach normal coaches to it, so because I wasn't bothered about the Liverpool to Manchester ones, because I could run it heritage style with some LMS coaches, because why wouldn't you? Because it looks fantastic. They are now its designated coaches, so no other loco pulls them now, apart from this one, really. So yeah, too bad. Right, I'm looking forward to the next one. So this one, we're going to bring Lion into stop. There we go. And we'll put Lion away and then get the next locomotive on the track. So this is the LMS Crab. This one is number 13,000, which is the one that's in the National Rail Museum in York. And we've put the Midland compound coaches with it because this is like one of my favourite consists that I ever run. And I think this looks nicer with these coaches than the Midland compound does. Always wanted this specific Crab as well. So when it came up for sale at Hattons, I literally jumped in the car and drove straight away to go and get it. Which I'm not going to be able to do anymore, unfortunately, but never mind. It probably does look a bit silly with that step, but I've never fitted the steps to it because I don't normally fit the extras. So, but I love it. I love this thing. I think it's beautiful. The tooling's slightly old now, not 100% up to modern standards, but the detail is beautiful. The mechanism, yeah, it's not. It's typical Bachmann of this era. It's not split chassis, but it still weighs a lot and it runs really nicely and it looks superb with these coaches, so why not? I'm going to enjoy it for what it is. It's a blue red paintwork. It looks mega. Number 13,000. So I've got 1,000, 5,000 and 13,000 now for the LMS collection, which I don't think is too bad going, personally. It'd be nice to get 10,000, the diesel. Would be quite cool. Maybe one day. They do look good. They do look really lovely. I like how LMS engines are always black or red. I mean, there was obviously the odd green ones in BR liveries, but they do look lovely, especially in this LMS red. It's just beautiful, or crimson as everybody knows it as, but it does look superb. The Crab is one of my favourite locos they've ever done as well. It is a mogul. I think it's my only mogul at the minute. I'm not 100% sure though. I could be wrong. I forget sometimes what locos I've got because there's so many. But yeah, it's unusual design and it looks really cool. So what's not to like? Mixed traffic loco as well, so they can run with wagons, but I'm not sure this one's the right one to do that because just like how beautiful it looks with those coaches. Full Bachmann train here as well, Bachmann coaches. So, right, we're going to churn through these. We're going to get onto the only Great Western loco I've ever purchased from Hattons, and that is the Hornby 28XX. And also coming up to 4 years of ownership is the 28XX, one of my favourite locomotives in the collection, and one of, well, in fact, my favourite Great Western locomotive class. I think it looks beautiful. It is stunning. And this is a Hornby one, so it's really well detailed as well. Maybe one day I'll get a Dapol 2884. But no, I love this thing. So, yeah, it's not around for a while, but let's get this one going. I've put the Pullmans behind it because I'm going to be using them later on in the video, so it's just easier for me in that regard. So that's why we've got the Pullmans with it. And it does look fantastic with them as well. I think it deserves to pull the Pullmans, considering it's not been out for a while. So this one runs nice and slow, as you would expect for a freight locomotive. In fact, very slowly. I'm trying to find the exact right speed on the controller. There we go. I think that'll do. It's slightly faster than it can run. Normally when it runs with a freighter, run it a little bit slower. The camera's not focused, which is very annoying. Yeah, look at this thing. Oh, it's so nice. I love this thing. Beautiful. One of my friends, Alfie, who is receiving the old locomotives that are going, and who is providing me the J39 as a trade. He has decided. I asked him for some video ideas, and he has asked me to do a top 5 locomotives in my entire model rail collection of 49. And I think I'm going to do it. I think I can work. I can work 2. There's definitely 2 that I know of are in it, which is this and Blackmoor Vale, obviously. I'm not sure 100% on the others. So, but I'll work out which ones are in there, and there is a definite diesel in there. I know for a fact. There's a diesel in there, and yeah, I can work 3 out for definite. So not too bad, but it'll be cool to do that video as well. So look how beautiful this looks. There's nowhere near the camera, by the way. Nowhere near. Yeah, I love the 28XX. I bought it on the 29th of February 2020, so it was 9 days after Blackmoor Vale. Long-term viewers of the channel, either channel, will know that I've had a tender drive one of these in the past as well, and it was flipping awful, and I got rid of it in place of this, and I don't regret that at all, because this is a far superior loco in every single way, shape or form, and it's beautiful. The other thing it doesn't have is a smoke generator, which was cool, but it was sort of a gimmick, and it was a bit messy, and it just was not really worth it. Also, I have took the coupling out of this, out of the front, because it never really fit anyway, properly, and I think it looks superb. Look at it now. It just used to fly out, so it was useless. That was me touching the controller, by the way. I actually accidentally nudged it, but it's coming to a stop anyway. Right, we're getting on to the 2 BR standard locomotives, and then we've got 3 diesels, so hopefully we'll be able to churn through those quickly. So this is Duke of Gloucester, number 71,000, standard class 8, and not many people know I have this locomotive, but yeah, I do. I've had it a while. 2019, same time that I bought the Lord Nelson. We bought them together. So yeah, it was £120 back then with these 3 coaches, which I don't think is too bad for a train pack. This is one of the design clever locos that Hornby manufactures as well. But it looks great. It's not ran for ages, so it's nice to get it back out on the layout. And let's bring Duke of Gloucester into a stop then. Right, now for the standard 4 after this, and then we're on to the 3 diesels. And now for my old Bachmann Standard class 4. It's very old, it's very loud. Something about it I absolutely adore, and I want to try and not get rid of it. Even though, because I do like it, and it does run quite well. It looks quite good, so it's just a bit loud. Coming back round. There we go. To say this never runs is an understatement, so it is quite a loud thing. But yeah, I mean, it looks fine. It's just a bit loud, but not every loco can be quiet. I mean, yeah, it runs alright. I don't see why. I mean, I would like a green one as well, but yeah, it's fine. There's nothing really wrong with it. So, yeah, nice little thing. It was very, very cheap as well. It was quite inexpensive. So at least that's the positive. It does look good as well. Right, and that is the standard class 4 then. Right, we're going to go on to the first of the diesels, which is the TransPennine Express Class 68 by Dapol. Now for the Class 68 by Dapol, this is Splendid. A very, very heavy locomotive. I think the heaviest in the collection at the minute. Definitely the heaviest diesel, but I think it is genuinely the heaviest loco out of all of them. This hasn't run for a while, so it'll be nice to see this running. So let's go. Yeah, it looks absolutely superb. Well, it looks absolutely splendid. Splendid. Dapol locomotive. I bought this the 2022 Christmas present. And I bought it at the exact same time I bought the next locomotive, which I actually bought for myself, and then this was bought as a Christmas present. So I kept the next loco before, and this one was obviously put away for Christmas, so if you know what I mean. But it is beautiful. I've had 2 diesels on the run for Christmas now, you know, which is crazy. So 2021 was the, what was 2020's? No, because in 2019 was the Lord Nelson and Duke of Gloucester. 2020, I have no idea. I've forgotten. I can't remember. What was 2020's? Oh, it was the Midland Compound. 2021 was the Hush Hush, and then the 2022 was this, and 2023 was a Class 24, which we'll see later. So, pretty cool. So, but yeah, this is beautiful though. And I know some people don't like diesels and this, that and the other, but I do. I like a mixture of everything, so deal with it, basically. Right, going to get through the last 2. Oh, let's oh, look at that lovely, smooth, controlled stop with the flywheel, and yeah, don't you just love diesels? And now for the Bachmann Class 57 in Northern Bell livery. This is Northern Princess. It is a lovely locomotive. This hasn't ran. I don't run this often, so it's nice to run this as well. I've probably said that about every single loco in this video, but it is true. The odd ones get ran more than the others, and this one should run more because it's a lovely thing and a very, very good loco as well. Is that light flickering? No, I think it flickers on video, but it doesn't. It's not actually flickering in real life. Not by that. Not from what I can see, anyway. I think it's not flickering in person. I think it's flickering on the video though, because it's an LED, so it probably will. It's got a little bit more express speed. People will say, would you like to have some Northern Bell coaches? Yes, I would, but they're very hard to get hold of. So Pullmans will do for now. It does look very good actually with Pullmans. They almost match really, so that's why. You go very, very fast now. Speed! Is that... I've got the light working as well, the light. That is actually correct, by the way. It's supposed to have one light at front. Light on when going forwards. That is how they run, so not that there's a bulb out, that's exactly how they're supposed to be. And stop. And let's get on to the very last locomotive. And now for the last locomotive in this running session of locomotives I have bought from Hattons Model Railways as a tribute to Hattons Model Railways, who unfortunately recently announced their closure. So, last is the Bachmann Class 24 in BR two-tone green, and it looks fantastic. So, let's get going and we'll finish this video, which has been quite a long one, so I do apologise. But we'll finish this video with this lovely Class 24. So I thank you all for watching this video. Comment your favourite locomotive, etc. Just comment anything and I will do my best to get back to you and reply. I do read every comment that I can see displayed, and I get back to every single one that I can see displayed as well. So and if you haven't already and you've watched this video and you haven't already subscribed, please do so. It would mean the world. And we've got some good stuff coming up, so that's why you should. So yeah, but it has been fun, so to do these running sessions and to run these locomotives that haven't run for ages, so but we'll be back for some more videos very, very soon anyway. So yeah, thank you all for watching and goodbye. Well, you'll see this go a bit further up. There we go.